Growing up in Atlanta, I could see disparities in policing practices from a child. When you ignore those people that tell you it's impossible, and you push forward, and you organize, and you educate, and you advocate, I know that you will take down mass incarceration and you will replace it with a system that deserves to be called a criminal justice system.
I think the impetus for the Police for Tomorrow program was wanting to create a space for police officers themselves to be part of some of the really difficult conversations about the future of policing.
The way Georgetown has structured kind of the interaction between the academic world and the law enforcement world and making it relevant to police officers has been really beneficial to us. As officers realize that these are some of the challenges as a profession, it helps them think about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis differently.
Do you have any ideas on how, do we empower the community to be equally accountable?
The community should hold the police department accountable, but the police department is not in a position to hold the community accountable.
I was excited about the idea from the very outset. I had come here from DOJ with the primary purpose of teaching law students about criminal justice in the hopes that they would then be inspired to change the criminal justice system and policing in particular.
Many of our students come in extremely critical of policing and indeed pretty hostile to policing, and some of those students ended up coming back to us and saying, I had no idea that police recruits or police officers were asking these same questions I am. I had no idea.
What brought me to law school was certainly my experience as a police officer. What led me here specifically to Georgetown, definitely the Police for Tomorrow program. The benefit of this program is that you have everyone at the table. You have current law students, you have law professors, you have police officers, you have police leadership, and the commitment from all these parties to come together and actually to hash out some of these difficult conversations. I don't think you find that anywhere else, and it's happening here.
When it really hit me and I understood wow, how major this fellowship was, I realized this is like a relationship that we're forging with Georgetown Law. And I saw this fellowship, various age groups, various experiences, backgrounds.
And you guys come together once a month to discuss issues that are happening within your community.
Where they're being pushed to actually discuss these very difficult topics and define 21st century policing.
Is there risk in that? Absolutely. In a paramilitary organization, often the culture is do because I say, and we're creating an environment for people to say yes, but why, and challenge the process in a respectful way that leads to that renaissance in law enforcement.
I did come in a little skeptical, like, oh, is this going to be a police bashing thing? These civilians, these Georgetown professors are going to tell me that I'm the mean police and that I shouldn't be doing this or that. But then once we're there, I was like, no, it's not that at all.
A number of the officers have expressed that they were particularly moved by the adolescent development section. I think it is really hard to break through on that issue.
When we were having that session, I was a little bit, stubborn to be like, oh, you don't get it. It's like this on the street. A lot of people who are gonna run from me, fight with me, and do this, that, and the other are juveniles. Slowly, I kind of started to get what they were talking about, started to see it. There's more to the way the brain develops and what these kids are dealing with at home. There's a bigger picture why they're doing such extreme things.
I hope that the police officers continue to persuade other police officers to listen to youth and engage in dialogue with other youth and take these rules and things that we recommended and spread it throughout the force so we can have a better and safer community.
Some people aren't ready to acknowledge the racism, the classism, the implicit biases that we have just growing up here in this country. I think this program was about making you a better police officer, but also about making you a better human being and a better citizen here in America, which I think will turn make you a better police officer overall.
A lot of the subjects that we talked about in class, these were discussions that my friends and coworkers were having when I was working. They were unofficial. They happened when we were sitting in cars at 3 and 4 a.m. when the city kind of quieted down. But there are a lot of police officers that care about these things.
Come on, Fish, help me out, okay?
The topics we're dealing with, race and policing, de-escalation, homelessness, the opioid crisis, adolescent mind, all these different innovative programs, the EPIC program in New Orleans. These are the biggest topics right now in policing, right? It's great to just have all these things in the back of your mind, so when you're dealing with people, it gives you an extra thing in your toolkit.
I wasn't thinking about the job as big like that before this program. I was just, I'm gonna answer my calls, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and then I go home at the end of the day. But there's a lot more to it than that.
The culmination of the fellowship is every fellow chooses a capstone community project, and the idea is for them to work on creating something that we hope will live beyond their involvement in the program directly.
Well, the goal of my capstone project was honestly to build some empathy, some compassion, some respect.
Having law enforcement come into DC jail, and we'll just have like a round table session where we're just peeling back the layers here and just breaking the barrier.
Because the only thing we see is up until the arrest. And I really wanted to show what people go through after.
Every officer that went through the capstone project at the DC jail took something away from that experience. I know I did. I think in talking to leadership that was there and present, they took something away from that.
I've learned from a lot of the topics, even helping my colleagues understand my point of view on certain things or certain ways of policing. I feel like that's because of the program. It's helped me be able to interact with individuals better and communicate with them better.
Yes, we've only done it with 40 officers, but the third cohort will be 60, and the fourth cohort will be 80. And so as we have more people that come into the fold, that conversation broadens.
All these other police departments, they don't have this, and I feel like other cities will benefit from it tremendously.
What we know is it has an impact on retention. We know that it definitely has an impact on creativity and allowing officers a space to challenge assumptions.
From the beginning of this program to now, I'm a completely different officer. The program found me at a time where I think I needed the most to realign my morals and to realign just my passion, which is truly, genuinely making the city safer for everyone.